Okay, got that.
And then, so Charlotte, the screen that you have right now, I don't want you to just play that video. So on the Google sheet that I shared with you, right?
Right, I've got the instructor guide.
Well, yeah, that's what I want you to share. The instructor guide, or no, not even that. Go to show me the Ignite 2.0 spreadsheet. Click on that little link for me.
I've got most of the stuff downloaded here. There you go.
Perfect.
And
okay.
so which one do you want me to do?
So you're doing the database. So the little
right.
thing that says
You want
presentation.
The guide or the presentation? Got
presentation.
It. Okay.
That's the one that you're going to share.
Okay, got it. All righty. Let me.
And then call me if you have any problems, okay?
Okay.
Now you're rolling.
All right, good deal. All right, so do they have to see me? Because I'm really not.
No, you're good. You can, I mean, you can pull up the camera on the screen for your Zoom, but other than that, you're good to go.
All right, sounds good. Thank you, Anthony.
Yes, ma'am. Have a wonderful class, guys.
Thank you. I want to see who all I've got in here. Who all do I have in here? This is Charlotte Johnson, and I see Rita. Everybody say hello.
Hello.
Who all's in here? Let me, Vince. Hi, Vincent. How are you?
Hey, Charlotte. How you been?
I've been good, thank you. Who else we got up here?
Hey, Miss Charlotte.
Hi, David. How are you?
Great.
There we go. We got a grid video. I see Jay is here. Julie Baker. Hello.
Hi, we haven't met yet, but I'm excited to meet you.
I am excited to meet you also. I said, that's a name I don't recognize. Okay. Kashira, Tarika. Okay, so we had a thing that if you guys are going to be in training, that we need to have your videos turned on because we want to see who's participating. So Jay, Kashira, Tarika, let's participate, please. Thank you. Hi, Kashira.
Hi, hey, I'm on, but I work during the day, so I'm kind of like multitasking. That's why my camera's not on.
Okay, not a problem. I won't call on you and say, hey, do this. Tarika, thank you. Nice to see you. Jay? Because we don't know who's there and who's not there. So, and who have I got in here? I've got my favorite Lanice and Natasha are both here today. So have you guys gone through all of the Ignite sessions, everybody on here? Or is this your first one, or are you picking and choosing which sessions you're going through? How are you guys doing this?
Well, I've been on all of them so far, the last 3, I think. Well, this week, yeah.
Okay, Natasha?
Same thing, I've been here all week.
Lanice? Okay, good deal. Vincent, you've been here all week. Rita? Rita
yes,
disappeared. Okay, good. Okay, so you guys know how this works. Okay, so we're going to cover your database today. Okay, so those of you who don't know me, I'm Charlotte Johnson. I am a member of your ALC. I'm also the head of the Career Development Committee on the ALC. For those of you who don't know, ALC is your Agent Leadership Council. That basically, because we are a company that's for agents, we have a say in what happens with our company, and part of that are things that you guys bring up and what you do for the ALC. And you know, Ignite, this program, as this slide says, it skills to spark a great career. So I do a good amount of volume, and I still take the equivalent to Ignite if you're not necessarily a new agent, which I encourage everybody to do, is BOLD, which goes a step further and tells you about how to build your business and how to build your life by design in real estate. So for those of you who haven't signed up for BOLD, I strongly encourage you to sign up for Bold.
Ask you, can we do that while we're doing that?
Yes, you can sign up for Bold, absolutely. I think so I've been a licensed agent since March 20th of 2017. I'm currently on target to do somewhere between 80 and 100 transactions this year. I will tell you that my success as an agent has been entirely due to working my database. Okay, so it hasn't been because you go out and you buy leads here and you buy leads there and you do this and you do that. It's been because you make a database and you work your database. And I think Rita, who's on my career development committee, can attest to the fact that I'm always preaching database. There is no magic in real estate. You are, did I just cut out, guys? Can you guys
No.
hear me still?
Mm-hmm.
I still hear you.
Okay, because everybody just froze on me and it said my internet connection was unstable. I'm like, what? Okay. There is people, I get asked all the time, Charlotte, how do you do what you do? And I'm going to tell you right now, I do what I do through working my database. I do what I do through referrals. Every year, I will tell you that all of the classes that I have taken with Keller Williams, Bold and Ignite would be the two most beneficial classes because they teach you the basics. And if you do what you learn here, you are going to be extremely successful. If you don't do what you learn, it's not going to work out so much for you. You're going to be okay. You might do some volume, you might not do any volume, but you have to do these things. So your database is your business. My database is my business. Okay. So that is what we're going to cover today. So what do successful agents do every day? We've talked about this many, many times with different people, is that your job, your number one job as a real estate agent is to lead generate for buyers and sellers. Everybody get that part? Yeah. The next thing that you do, and this is part of growing your business. So the difference between growing your business and running your business. So if you want to grow your business, you lead generate for buyers and sellers, you make seller listing presentations and you get listings, you make buyer presentations and you get listings and buyers also, and you preview real estate. And what that means is that usually every day I'm out looking at least 3 different houses that I haven't seen in my market, okay? Because I want to know my market better than anybody. You want to know your market better than anybody. If you have an area that you are wanting to focus in on, you should be out previewing houses in that area every day. Every day. You should know your market better than anybody. The lead generating for buyers and sellers, we'll get more into that. We schedule that. I schedule lead gen every single day. Okay. You should schedule lead gen every single day. We got somebody else joining us here. Hang on a second. Let me let them in. So, good morning. So that's growing your business, running your business. Okay. So when you run your business and you're not looking, okay, I need to grow, you market your seller listings, you show buyer houses, you negotiate contracts, you take your transaction management to closing, which means, you know, from the time you write that contract all the way to the close, you're doing all your transactions in there. Vendor management, who's your inspectors, who are your lenders, who are your title people, who are the people that you have that come out and do repairs for you, who are the people, so that's your vendor management. You set goals. You are compliance and risk management, so you stay under compliance. When you get that little notice and Kelly that says your transaction has been returned for whatever reason, you take care of that, right? You meet your deadlines. Deadlines are deadlines. You attend training and get coaching, which applaud to everybody everybody here today. We have 270,000 agents, and you guys are the ones who decided to come in and get some training to grow your business. And we have 207,000 in the company. Let me correct that. We have 260 or 70 for our market center also. So attend training, get coaching, and manage your money. So that's running your business. So today we're going to focus on growing our business, like we said. Growing our business, lead generating for buyers, that's the first thing we're going to go over, okay? That is the part that database is covering. So what is a database? Who can tell me what a database is? Anybody?
It's a warehouse storage for all of your information, contacts, email addresses, and a way to feed your pipeline.
Okay, good. And who, how many of you guys are using Command? Just give me a yes or no.
Yes.
Yes? Yes, okay.
Yes.
So, okay, and you're using the Command, at least the database part of it, right? Okay, I know that everybody doesn't use Command fully, but use it for a database type of it. So a big picture on a database is it's a living record of business relationships. Okay, so when you're a new agent and you're starting your database, you all have friends and family. I am making that assumption. Every friend and family that you have, friend and family member, should be in your database. You should have businesses that you regularly do business with, or businesses in the town you're in. I basically went through the yellow pages of my area, and I added every business, and I made a phone call and got their email addresses, and I have them all tagged as businesses. And the reason you want to do that is because I market to the businesses too, because if I have the people that they're reaching, that they're talking to, if they see me as the realtor always in their mind, when somebody says, hey, they're gonna recommend me, right? So your friends, your family, anybody that you've done any business with, the businesses in your community, you want as many people in your database as you can, and I'll show you why in a minute. So your database is your living record of business relationships, and it helps nurture and manage those relationships. So also one other thing I said, if you're friends with somebody on Facebook, if you got X number of followers on Facebook, get their information in your database, right? Because you can reach out and touch. I mean, Facebook has that opportunity to show somebody's email address. It can do everything like that. So get all that information into your database. Spend some time on your database. Spend your time on building your database. So your database helps you nurture and manage relationships. Let's say you have that person on Facebook that you're just, they posted that, oh, I'm expecting a baby. Yay. So you put that in your database and you send them a card, a handwritten note. Hey, congratulations. They think that they don't know that you necessarily got that information off of Facebook, and you personalize that information that they sent out to everybody. And it's more than just a congratulations on a Facebook post. Send them a note. Send them, and I will go over some absolutely amazing ways that you can have every field in your database filled out that can happen. So it helps nurture and manage your relationships. So when you send them a note, you can put a little tag in your database that sent birth announcement, or sent congratulations when they have that baby. Congratulations on the birth, mark the baby's birthday. Every year, send them a birthday card for their child. It just, when you find out their birthdays, that's how you can find out. Facebook posts when everybody's birthday is, right? Add it to your database. Get out your, this is where you put some of your actions into play, some of the stuff that you can run right off of your database, where for the month of July, you just pop all the July birthday cards in the mail. Because throughout the year, you keep a file from January through December. And when you see somebody has a birthday, you sit there and write out their birthday card and pop it in for next year and you have it done.
I have this month done.
Excellent. See, excellent. Excellent. There you go. So, and you have everybody's, and then you just do nothing more than the first of the month, or you just go and you just pop all the birthday cards and like, oh my God, my realtor was the first person to tell me happy birthday this month. How does that happen?
I have Facebook stuff everybody.
There you go. So the database also, it predicts, believe it or not, a predictable flow of business. How much money and how much time and effort you put into your database will give you a very predictable flow of how much business you're going to do next year. If you are working on referrals, if you're working on anything, as you work through this and you get really, really good at your database, you'll be able to forecast how much business you're going to do. Okay. It also improves service and it strengthens relationships. So if you have a database and you sold somebody a house a year ago and you're sending them an anniversary card, right? You're sending them an anniversary card every year. They will turn around and know that you're paying attention to them. You can also send them things monthly on the property values in their neighborhood, or what interest rates are, but they're always seeing you. They know that you're not just you didn't just sell them a house and disappear from their life, right? Your database helps you improve that service and what you're giving, the value that you're giving to your clients, because you're nurturing that relationship with them and adding value to their lives. And you know, they say that people turn over houses every 5 to 7 years now, right? So as they turn those houses over, you want to be that realtor that they're thinking of. There's so many realtors. I think Gary Keller shows it at Family Reunion, how many realtors, how many clients after they buy their house absolutely love their realtor. They're the best. A year later, they don't remember their name, because the realtor hasn't kept in touch with them. You don't keep in touch with your client, someone else will. And I always tell the people that I mentor that if you're not keeping in touch with a client, I am, if I'm on the other side of that table, because I just assume every other person on the other side of that table, opposite of me, is going to be an orphan, that their realtor isn't going to keep in touch with them. And I get all their information at the closing so I can keep in touch with them, right? So if you're not keeping in touch with your people, somebody else is. If you go to a closing and you're the listing agent, you have the buyers across from you and you get all that documentation from the closing, you have just about everything you need to fill out your database right there on that, and you pick up that orphan. You be their mommy. You be their realtor, right? You be that person. I've got people right now who had different buying agents of listings that I have, and or vice versa, and they call me all the time for stuff. They're not calling that person that brought them to the table. They're calling me because I'm the one who's consistently kept in touch with them. Okay, so that is your database. What's the purpose of your database? What makes your database valuable? Let me see something here. Yeah. So how many of you guys have read The Millionaire Real Estate Agent? You guys all have the participants guide downloaded? Okay, yeah. So let's talk about what the database is and why it's valuable. So if you go to your participant guide, page 3, okay? First, I want you guys to write down your responses to these questions in your guide, okay? Write them down. If you just have your guide on your computer, have a different piece of paper and write down, you know, what those questions are on the guide. We usually would break into a small group and talk about the responses in a small group. However, we don't have that many people on here, and we're doing it via Zoom. So we're going to talk about it as a small group together. Okay. So I'm going to give you guys about 5 minutes, and I want everybody to figure out what their answers to those questions are, okay? And these should be the questions that are in this guide, right? What is a database? What makes a database valuable? Okay? All right, so who wants to say what is the purpose of your database? Who wants to share with us what you have for what is the purpose of your database?
I will.
Okay, go ahead.
To record all the names, addresses, et cetera, of the people I come in contact with in order to generate future business or provide vendor expertise to past, present, or future clients.
That's a very good answer. Does anybody else have anything different than that?
I have that as a guide of who to stay in contact with and reach out to.
Can you guys hear Natasha?
Not really.
Talk loud, Natasha. You got your mic turned on your, you got your mic turned on your Zoom there? Or you're not doing Zoom? Okay, so really talk loud, okay?
I got to yell at you.
Yeah, yell to ours, yeah.
I said I have that it's a guide of who to contact and stay in touch with.
Okay, a guide of who to contact and stay in touch with. Okay, anybody else?
I have,
Talk loud, Lenise.
I have the database is to get information to be able to build relationships.
Okay, so you got that. It's a place to get and store information in order to build relationships. So you guys know basically what your database can be and what it used for. So what makes it valuable?
That's your.
Easy.
What is that?
It's valuable because you're able to use that information, to reach your, your projected people that you're wanting to market to. So, it gives you everything at the click of a finger, basically, to market homes or to put out information.
That's a good answer. Anybody else have something different?
It makes your job easier because your human brain cannot keep up with it. You have all your stored information there and it's easily accessible to you.
Vincent, you're like me, man. I couldn't keep up with everybody. If I had to keep it in my head, I'd be in trouble.
No way.
Yeah, exactly. Anybody else?
Gives you information to, be able to lead generate.
Gives you information to lead generate. Good answer. Okay, so it's valuable for all these different reasons, but you're going to find out how monetarily valuable your database can be also. So what other industries use a database for prospecting and marketing?
All of them.
All sales industries.
Also, not only sales, your doctor does, your hospitals do, everybody uses a database, right? I mean, if there's so much money made in selling database information to people in this country right now, Facebook has a database. Everybody has a database, right? And then what makes targeted marketing effective? Anybody?
You pretty much identified likes and dislikes, and you've got an idea of what they're actually looking for. So that gives you a target audience, and you've made that whatever you're advertising towards them more effective.
Okay.
The area too.
Grow that area,
Do what?
like farming your area, you're able to know everything about that area.
Able to farm your area, know everything about your area, okay?
I have that you're not wasting your time on someone who won't need your service.
Not wasting your time on someone that won't need your service. Those are all good answers. The other thing is that on targeted marketing is that you're marketing people you already know. You already have a relationship with these people, right?
Mhm.
They already know you. They already trust you on some level. So if you target your marketing to the people in your database that you know, that they've met you, that they can put a face to this person, you're ahead of somebody else who does it, right? All righty, so on page 4 of your guide there, have you, have any of you read The Millionaire Real Estate Agent?
Some of the CDs.
Some of the CDs, you haven't finished it. Anybody else? Okay. So if you go through The Millionaire Real Estate Agent, one of the first things that they explain about your database is that the most important aspect of your database is the relationships you build with the people inside of it. Okay? So you're building relationships and strengthening relationships with the people inside your database. Every database used by millionaire real estate agents are structured and function in a very similar way, because we have, if you read that book, it tells you specifically how to touch your database. It tells you how you can get to everybody in your database, when to touch them, how often to touch them, right? As we develop deeper relationships with the people in our database, with our leads, because our database may start out just as leads. How many of you have listings that you've actually run Facebook campaigns on? Through Command? Okay, how many leads did you get off of them?
Not a whole lot, but I had like maybe, I listed one for, I guess about 10 days, and I had like 25 25 leads.
25 leads on it? Okay. Are those people on your database now?
Mhm.
Everything about them?
Unless the phone number was, the wrong.
I'm gonna fix that for you in a minute.
Good.
Okay, so I will tell you that I've run, I think I've got currently 4 ads running. I am probably picking up at least 10 to 15 leads a day off of those 4 ads. Okay? And when I get the list of leads in, the first thing I'm doing is I'm going in and completely filling out their information in my database. I'm also putting a tag on them that says that what campaign they responded to in my lead. So I have a general idea of what they're looking at and what's intriguing them, right? Because when I have another similar house or whatever, or as I start to treat these people as leads and touch them. So with the Millionaire database, with that database, basically the level of detail that you store in the database about that person is going to shape the way that you respond and market to them, right? So your database is going to, the more information, the level of detail that you store in your database is going to shape the way that your database functions. And ultimately, it's going to help you get through the 3 levels in your database, which are essential, which is the essential information, name, address, email, phone number, essential information, right? The effective information, which is their birth dates, their anniversary dates for their home buying, when they sold your house, and the exceptional level of your database. And that's when you have such a close relationship with people in your database that these are the people who are referring you to other people. These are the people because you're always touching them, right? So essential, effective, and exceptional are the 3 levels of a Millionaire database, okay? So essential. Here are the things that are covered in an essential, the first most fundamental level, okay? You're going to have a name. You're going to have a preferred name, right? Because maybe somebody's name is Ermagerd, but they like to go by Irma. You're going to have their most effective, you're going to have the name that they prefer, okay? You're going to have a valid method of contact. So contact info, not just, if you notice on Facebook responses, somebody put my phone number is 504-333-4444. Pretty well know it's a fake number, right? You're going to have a valid way of contact. The one thing, so generally when people fill out those forms, those lead forms like that, they will put down, I'll tell you one, I had one that put out their phone number as 504-986 something and 0000. Okay, that's what they put their phone number, but they put their real name and they put those 4 numbers.
Mr. Ted E. Bear.
Yeah, Mr. Teddy Bear, right, exactly. So, so contact info, so a valid form, past business and past contact record. So every time you're contacting these people, you should be updating your database with the date and how you contacted them. Did you send them a text message? Did you send them an email? Did you pick up the phone and call them? A contact record on how you're contacting them. And the other thing you should also have is at-will communication, which means you have a valid and up-to-date method of contact for that person. So you can contact them at will, okay? As you start reaching out to your leads and you communicate with them, they're gonna likely to start notice, you're gonna notice similarities between them. Okay, maybe it's that they live in the same neighborhood or they like the same sports team. You're gonna see, you might have a little group over here that are LSU fans, and heaven forbid, you might have a group over here that's Mississippi State fans. Okay, so, but all these things gathered together, they're useful to you as an agent because you know, if LSU plays Ole Miss or something like that, you're not going to sit here and say, yay, go LSU, and offend all your Ole Miss people. College football is important in Louisiana. I learned that real quick, okay? So, or you might notice that people go to the same schools, that their kids go to the same schools, or they're cheering on the same, you know, quarterback, or their child that's playing in these things. You're going to put these together, and then you can have some group targeting on how you're doing stuff, right? No matter how trivial the piece of information that you get, that you add to that database about them, it can all be used to streamline how you communicate and how you make that database more effective for you. Okay, so let me just ask you guys, what kind of trivial information do you find out about your people in your database, or the people that you know that can make a huge difference?
I like to find out if they're going to school, like at, you know, going to college, or how many kids they have, that sort of thing, to where, you know,
Okay,
anything that I can use to follow up with them. Like, say if they're about to graduate college, then I want to send them some sort of congratulatory card or something like that.
awesome. And at this point in time, if they're going to college, you can also send them things on how to stay safe if you're going into classes. There's a whole lot of things you can do around school attendance right now,
Right.
or the lack of school attendance right now, right?
Right.
What else?
I find that people like to ask about their pets.
That is excellent. So I put their pets' names in my database and what kind of pets they are. Because National Dog Day, I send my clients with pets a card for their dog. I send it by mail. I absolutely, they love it. Usually I send it by mail, and I'll go and get some new dog tags made with everybody's, and I'll send a little card with the new dog tag in it, and say to help them style for the next year, kind of thing like that. Yeah, just things, because it makes people smile and it makes people feel like you know them intimately. People, look, in this country, people love their pets more than their kids almost, right? I mean, their pets are their kids in a lot of cases. So, and so just things like that. So another one, see, that's something that a lot of people would think is real trivial, but that's a great one because our pets have such an impact on us. What else?
What about hobbies such as fishing, hunting, playing golf, stuff like that?
Absolutely. Deer hunting season, bow hunting season opened up October 1st. I have all my hunters in my thing. I sent them all a picture of, and this I did an email. I sent them all an email of all these deer standing outside looking into a window, wondering where everybody was. You know, they loved it. They're like, all right, that was, you know, it's like, okay. So just fun stuff, right? What else? How about where they go on vacations? What kind of vacations they like to go on? If they barbecue. So I'm a big green egg kind of girl, right? So when barbecuing season starts, which in Louisiana, it's starting now because it's been too hot in the summer for me, but I'll send all kinds of, my nephew has a Traeger. I have a big green egg. We'll have cook-offs. And we'll send out recipes or pictures, or, you know, we'll take a picture of the Traeger and a picture of the big green egg and said who cooked it best instead of who wore it best. You know, things like that. Any little thing. Where do they go on vacation? Do they like the islands? Do they like the Caribbean? Do they do cruises? Where I'm from, where I market, if one more person says they're going to Gatlinburg, I'm going to scream. However, I did get a Gatlinburg visitor's guide, and I share that with my people who are going to Gatlinburg. because I noticed it's a vacation spot, Gatlinburg and Orange Beach. So get a copy of a vacation guide from Gatlinburg and Orange Beach and make up your own and say, hey, notice you're going on vacation here. In case you don't know what to do, here's some ideas. And look for some ideas that may be out of the beaten path that they maybe didn't think of. Yes,
So
ma'am.
on these- When you had mentioned tag and like to send out mass, I haven't done that yet. I did do the ads.
Uh-huh.
I did document, I did tag some things. But as far as tagging, to be able to send out, and like when you said you have 4 houses and you'll do ads on each one.
Right.
Now, when you tag them, you want to tag them so that the tags are different.
I just make a tag that says campaign Oak Crest, campaign Lee Circle. I make tags like that, so I know where I got that information, what house they were looking at. Campaign Silvert, Maine, you know, and then I have and I remember those houses. So you kind of got to remember your houses that you've listed too, right? So I know that Silvert, Maine is a big 4,000 square foot French provincial house, and I know that Lee Circle is a renovated ranch that's just beautiful. And I know that Oak Crest is an Acadian. So I kind of get an idea of what people are looking at. And then I can turn around and I can pull down the tag. I want everybody that was tagged campaign Oak Crest, and I can send them anything that I have listed that's similar to that through their email.
And like LSU people, just for example.
Oh yeah, LSU fan.
You can send out a whole group of them.
Absolutely.
So you tag what you want.
And you tag your LSU in purple and your Ole Miss in red, or your red tie Alabama. If you have any Alabama, you delete them. And but you just, you know, that way you're just, you know, having some fun with your people, right? Okay, so no matter how trivial information can seem, if you put that information about that person in your database, it can absolutely make a difference for you, because it opens up a whole new level of communication. All right, so the next 3 levels of a millionaire database, and when we say millionaire database, we're saying if you follow this model in the MREA, you can grow yourself to be a realtor that nets $1 million in gross commission income a year. Okay, so maybe not everybody wants to be that big in real estate, right? Maybe that's not what they want to do. Maybe they just want to net $200,000 a year, or maybe they want to net, you know, $50,000 a year. It doesn't matter. I don't know very many agents that turn down business, right? You do the business that you can handle, and you build your business that you want, but that's what they're talking about in a millionaire database. And on this is what everybody does to get to the point of where they're at. So an effective database is, whoops, wait, hang on, somebody's coming in. Hang on. Okay. Hello, Warren. So your database isn't going to reach full potential. Is that Warren?
Yes, it is. Hello.
Well, hello, nice to meet you. I'm Charlotte. Okay, we're talking about your database today. So your database isn't going to reach your full potential until you commit to investing your time and energy into making it run efficiently. Okay, let me tell you guys something. My first year in real estate, I did 54 transactions.
Wow.
I did not have a database. I did not make a database with those 54 people. I did not have anything. My first year of real estate, my clients never heard from me. Because my first year of real estate, I was not with Keller Williams. My second year of real estate, I came to KW. I started going back through all my old transaction documents and trying to build a database from the people that I had worked with previously, just trying to tag them as past clients. And I will tell you that that was the hardest thing I'd ever done in my life, because it takes time, right? It takes time. So I'm still trying to grow business, and I'm having to go back and put people in that I've done past business with. And now I have to call these people that I did past business with and say, hey, you might not remember me, but I sold you your house, or I sold your house. And I am so sorry. I really should have kept in touch with you this past year, and I want to keep in touch with you. Can you tell me how the year has been, and what can I do for you? And of course, I always approach them like with my hat in my hand and said, hey, here's some information on your investment that you did with me a year ago. So I gave them something of value, so they were receptive to hearing from me now. Okay. So if you've started business and you don't have a database, don't be afraid to put those people in and go back and talk to them. And admit, say, hey, you know what, I should have kept in touch with you, and I'm going to, because I have a lot of things of value that I can add to you. I'm sending you out a CMA on your property today, or I'm sending you out a market report in the area that you live in, something like that, okay? So the largest stride towards efficiency in your database is doing 4 things. One is you have to obtain permission, which means that you have to, in the essential column, you had the ability to contact the lead with valid contact information, right? And number 5, obtaining permission, it's about getting the permission. Once you have permission from that client to have two-way conversation with them, then you're on the road to an effective communication. So I send out monthly newsletters kind of thing, okay? That's when that lead, by the way, when you obtain that permission, that's when you change that person from a lead to a contact, because now you're having a two-way conversation with them. That's a contact. So when you call them and you say, hey, can I send you a updated market report for your area? Or, hey, can I, when you have them communicating back and forth with you, and you have permission to do that with them, they are now a contact of yours. If you've already sold them a house, they're your contact anyway. They know you, right? But this is how to transition from lead to contact. Okay, so that is, that's the first step in having an effective database. On step 6, you see it says collect personal information, insights, and preferences. Okay, this is your chance to cement your relationship with that database lead that's now become a contact for you. Okay, whenever your leads or contacts, whenever they share similarities, you can create a group like we were talking about, use those tags in command, and you can batch your conversation. So, and by batching, I mean exactly what we're talking about. Instead of sending something individually to every LSU person because you're like, oh wait, they're an LSU fan, you can actually send out the same thing to every LSU person. You don't have to, you can just batch it and send it out as a group. Or every hunter, or what is that day every year they have, the blessing of the pets? I send that out to people. Churches do blessings of, Lutheran churches especially, a lot of them do blessings of the pets. And I'll send that information out to people. So, but once you have the similarities in there, you can batch that conversation. So,
excuse me, it has to be in the tag to be able to do that, right?
well, you'd have to tag it, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Make a tag, because you want something easily that you can pull up. Otherwise, you're going to go through. Look, I have like 7,000 people in my database. I cannot go through 7,000 people and individually check and see, who has this, who has that. But I can search by tags. And the nice thing about Command is that you can put as many tags as you want to on a person, right? You can put as many tags as you want to. Yep, they're a pet owner. Yep, they're an LSU fan. Yep, they're a Saints fan. Nope, they don't like football. You can put as many tags as you want to on somebody. Okay. Yes, they were, I put tags as who referred them to me, referred by, and I'll tell you why in a second, because I go through my referred bys and I will have Joe that referred me 7 clients this year. I will have Julie that referred me 24 clients this year. And I can begin to see the pattern of who is my core and what do I do for them. We can't reward somebody monetarily for sending somebody over to you. We can, however, send them a brownie box. Send them different things like that. Say, hey, I just want to thank you for that referral. That, you know, we can do those kinds of things. So if you get a referral from somebody and you go to that closing for that Joe referred Julie to you and you go to the closing with Julie, if you don't take a little something out of that commission check right there to send Joe a thank you and say, thank you so much for this referral. We closed on their house today. Let me know how I can help you any other way. You're losing an opportunity.
Can you send gift cards? I know you said you can't do mine.
Yeah, I'll send gift cards sometimes. Absolutely. Yeah, you just can't. Louisiana's real strict. You can't give kickbacks. Okay. So just when you do that, as you tag these people, you think of everything that you're going to tag them in. So you can also tag them by, maybe it's the neighborhood they're looking to move to. Maybe it's their age. I have people tagged by age. I had people tagged between 25 and 35, 35, and I think I went 35 and 50, and then 50 and older. Okay. I also have people tagged who are 18 to 25. And the reason I have those people tagged is there's a few of them that are buying houses now, but the way they buy houses and the way that they look and the way that you can touch them is so completely different than the 50-year-old plus group. So you can tag people by age, and you know that just by their birthday, right? Tag them by their hobbies, tag them by their family size. I have a guy that called me yesterday, got 2 kids and he's got twins now. So now he's got 4 kids. And so, you know, now he's got 5-month-old twins. I have the birthday of the twins. I know the names and the sex of the twins. You know, just, you can tag them by anything. If you have a bunch of people that have twins, that's a fun thing to do. You know, it's a fun thing to talk about. You can have a twins picture day and have everybody send you in pictures of their twins and then just say, hey, you know, how many dress your twins alike, how many, you know, just all kinds of stuff like that. The more detailed your group is that you're putting your people in, the more effective your communication will become with them. Okay. And if anybody has any questions in here, just jump up and shout it, because I don't want anybody to say, what the heck is she talking about? Okay. At the highest level, there are 2 groups that everybody will find in their database. Anybody know what they are?
Mets and haven't Mets.
Leads and contacts. There you go. So a lead versus a contact. Okay. Now, sometimes you met a lead, but you don't have 2-way communication with them. Once you establish 2-way communication, you move them into your contacts. Okay. So yeah, leads and contacts, everybody should have those 2 groups. And if you notice in command, and I see a lot of people don't really fill that out, they don't really put in whether it's a lead or a contact. A lot of them tend to put everybody in as a contact, and you market a contact completely differently than you do a lead. Okay, because you want to nurture that lead until it becomes a contact. Okay, so the next thing is the segment and group based on, so segment and group based on 1-6, on 1 through 6. So this is where we're putting these people into groups. Okay, an effective database puts your people into a group and segments your people off. And if you've looked at in Command at all with campaigns, there are touch campaigns that are set up in Command already, that you can take one group of people and put them on this touch and another group of people and put them on this touch, and you can do stuff like that. And are all of you guys familiar with what I'm talking about? And if you're not, it's okay, because trust me, I know a lot of people who aren't in that far into their database in Command to see everything that they can do with it. You don't know.
We have to do paid ads.
Right, but I'm talking about actual touching of your database through Command. Has anybody else done it at all?
Learning about it. Haven't done it yet.
Okay. So one thing I want to challenge you guys to do is that after we do this class, to take one group, it doesn't have to be a large group, it doesn't have to be, you know, whatever, and put them on a single campaign. Because the interesting thing about that, if you put them on a campaign, say you put somebody on a, we have, you know, part of your purposeful and consistent, number 8, purposeful and consistent communication, is that you're making sure that your leads and contacts are on a touch campaign. And if you look in your participant guide, it will give you a touch campaign. For example, 19 to connect is 4 touches, which is a quarterly phone call, 12 touches, which is a monthly email, so once a month, monthly email, newsletter, market report, etc. A video. 2 touches will be promotional direct email or direct mail, like get some magnets of yourself or get some, I generally order, this year I didn't, but I will, because of COVID, it's changed a lot of things, but I'll get a football calendar with my name on it, and I'll send that out. Because this is the 2 touches promotional direct magnet or calendar or market report or something like that. I'll do a for tax season, I will send out to everybody who bought or sold that year. I'll resend their disclosure information out to them so they have it for their taxes. Okay, because we keep all that stuff. So I will just send each person out their disclosure information for tax season. What I will do for everybody else is send out a property valuation so that they can see how that's when I send out property valuations for where your house is now. Okay, and I do it tax season. I do it if they've been in their house for the first full year. If they haven't been in their house for a full year during that time, then they get it the first time, the next time. Okay. And then 1 touch, which is an annual event, which is a party, a movie screening, or a get together. That's your 19 touches to move somebody from a lead to a contact. Okay. That is, you're touching a lead 19 times a year. So during this time, I mean, they come to your annual thing, or they come to, they respond to your direct mail, to your promotional thing, or they respond to your emails, and they're taking them and you know, they talk to you when you have that quarterly phone call. They say if you do these 19 touches, you will get somebody, they will transition from a lead to a contact, where they will have a 2-way conversation with you. Now contacts, 36 to convert, okay? 4 touches are phone calls. 4 touches, which would be phone calls. 26 touches, which are bi-weekly email offering some type of information or value to the consumer. So every other week you're sending an email out to your contacts. Okay, because what are you trying to convert your contacts to?
Leads.
To business, right? Because we're not just doing all of this stuff just because we love people, which we love people. However, our ultimate goal is we're obtaining business, correct? We're lead generating. So the 26 biweekly touches, some people say like, oh my gosh, Charlotte, that is so, that's a lot of times to touch somebody. Don't they get tired of hearing from you? Not if you make it stuff that's relevant to them, right? If you're just sending them something generic that doesn't apply all the time, yeah, they may be like, okay. If you are sending them things that they need, like, hey, here's the houses that are sold in your neighborhood. Here's the houses that are listed in your neighborhood. Here is back to school's coming up. Here's a list of sales for school supplies. Hey, here's a list of people that need things donated for back to school. Christmas, holidays, you know. I got one going out in 2 days to remind everybody that Amazon Prime Sale Day starts October 13th and 14th, or 14th to 15th, I forget, but I have one going out to people that tells them that their Amazon Prime Day is coming out. You know how much response I get when I send that out every year? Oh my God, thank you so much. I would have missed it completely.
That's an email you send out?
I just sent an email out. I send that out to everybody in my database. Just say, hey, if you're looking to start your Christmas shopping early, hey, especially now with COVID, hey, don't want to hit the stores up for Christmas shopping, Amazon Prime Day is coming up. Okay, so those are things that you can do. You can be creative with what you do with those 26 touches, with that biweekly email. Okay, 2 touches, events, get together, parties. So I believe that what I had seen, and I've got to think about this, but I think that for every $1,000 that you spend on your database, you get $40 in return, something like that. So if you spend $1,000 or $44, maybe it's $44. If you spend $1,000 on your database, you'll get $44,000 back in gross commission income. So if I'm going to, I'll think about taking something, I'll set aside from every commission that I have, just a little something, $100, $200 goes into my event fund. Okay, and it can be something easy. I'll have a guy come out and do a crawfish boil, and I'll invite, you know, a certain number of people to that. I will have a get together picnic at a park where everybody brings something and gets to know each other. Right now is a really, really good time to rent a movie theater because you can rent it really cheap, and they have movies that they are letting you see really, really cheap, and you can get everybody into, hey, bring the kids, do whatever. So with COVID, it's a little bit more creative. One thing that I have done as a event with COVID is I have delivered wine and cheese to my clients that I wanted to have for this event, and we did a virtual wine and cheese tasting. Everybody got a different kind of wine and cheese, and so each of my clients that was invited had a couple over to their house, and we just did a virtual wine and cheese tasting on Zoom. Zoom bingo games are huge. They're fun. You know, depending on your clientele and what you want to do, a Zoom dance off. So you can still do these things and be safe, and you can still do these things and have fun with your clients and be in a contact and show them that you appreciate them.
I set up an event for Halloween. I have a
Talk loud.
Huh?
Talk loud.
Well, sorry, I have an event for Halloween coming up. I have a photographer that's gonna come out to my neighborhood and set up a display, and we're gonna do fall pictures on Halloween day, and everyone gets one free picture, digital picture out of it.
There you go. See, did you guys hear that? Did everybody hear that?
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Okay, so I kind of have a Halloween thing. I ordered the candy boxes that are personalized with me and stuff like that, and I pack them individually, and I will put them out on a table in front of my house for the kids that are going to be out doing stuff. They can't really trick or treat, but that's perfectly safe for them to pick up their box of candy that's personalized with all my information right there.
That's cool. Can I ask you a question?
So
Yes, ma'am.
one of the things that
Go ahead.
one of the things that I'm doing for Halloween is I got a bunch of pumpkins, the little small pumpkins, and I gave them out to the houses in my neighborhood. And I'm doing a little competition where you can paint the pumpkin, and when I pass out the pumpkins, they have my business card and a little bit about me and being a real estate agent. But once you paint the pumpkin, you can email it to me, and it's a competition for $20 gift cards.
That's an awesome thing right there. Okay. What else?
My question was, you said that you send out an email from your command contacts. I was just checking it out to see how to do it, and it says you have to sign up for MailChimp. So how do you?
You have to sign up for MailChimp. There is a mail program in Command. You're looking at an old thing. If you go into Command now, there is Command email.
Okay.
If you go in there, you just connect up to Command email, and that's what all of your campaigns are going to run off of is Command email.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah. So, but the thing is that when you have relevant conversations with your database, you get relevant business from your database, right? You get relevance in, you get rewarded for that, and you turn your leads and you get relevant. But if you have a relevant conversation, you get relevant information so you can convert those people in whichever way it is. So the 19 touch for leads, the 36 touches or 36 touches to convert. Does anybody have any question about that? Is anybody overwhelmed? Not overwhelmed? Y'all are way better than me, because I got to tell you what, when I went through this stuff, I went, oh my God, how am I going to do all of that?
Yeah.
Luckily, because when I started, Command wasn't there with those campaigns, right? I used another program, another thing that would do some of the stuff for me, but it wasn't there.
Charlie, I have a question. Oop.
You get so many for free. We'll talk about that. Yeah. What was that? I'm sorry.
What's the difference, if there is any, between campaigns and smart plans? Or do they work together?
They work together. So a lot of times people use the word campaign for if what you're running on Facebook to bring attention to the houses that you have or whatever, but they are smart plans. They're called smart plans in Command.
Okay.
Okay. I use the word interchangeably. I noticed that in this level of the millionaire database, in this information, they use it as they use the word campaign, but that is a smart plan. And as you see, if you're looking in your Command and looking at smart plans, there are so many out there. And they have recently, there's just a lot of stuff that they've added that people can put their own personalized smart plans that you can see what's working for somebody else and use it. Okay, or you can completely build your own. Okay, so, but relevant conversations, that's what I want you guys to remember. Relevant conversations with your database means you get relevant information in order to convert those people in your database. Anything there? All right, let's go to the number 3, the exceptional database. So exceptional database, so ultimately the goal of your database is to become exceptional. It says exceptional is an automated custom communication built around triggers. Okay, so the goal of your database is to become exceptional. So as your systems evolve and the information within it becomes more detailed, as you're adding more and more stuff to these things, you will have the ability to take a hands-off approach. Each lead that comes in will be served without requiring anybody's direct input, without sacrificing quality. As you get that lead in and you're filling in more information about them, you're going to change whatever you have in your groups that you're going to market to them. And you'll just become, you know, automated, where you're just like, as long as you fill in. So it all starts at the beginning when you're filling in that lead information, right? It all starts there. And that's why as we go through this, I'll go over some of the things to be able to help that lead be filled out as completely as you can before you start actually making those phone calls to them. Okay. Automation can come through technology. It can also come through over other people. You can hire somebody to manage your database once you have it automated. You know, maybe you hire an assistant or something like that. They can manage your database once it becomes automated, because you're going to have systems in place where this is all the information we have to have in for our leads. And these are the things that we send out to them. And this is what we do with the feedback that we get and how we fill in our database. Okay, so it can come through command, but you can also automate it very much just through command. Okay, so automating it through command is pretty cool, because we have so many things that we can do. Emails, text messages. The nice thing about command too is that if you put somebody in a smart plan in command, if you go in the morning and you open up your database and you click on that page, it's going to tell you your tasks for the day, who you have to call, what email you might have to send out. It's going to give you your tasks for the day. And when you complete those tasks, they're checked off, and that makes sure that you're doing everything at the time that you're supposed to. Okay. It's possible to become a millionaire real estate just at the first level by just having the essential information in it. But the opportunity to grow your business and not have any limitations is opened up as you make your way through the other two levels. Okay, as you go through all three levels, it just opens up your business and takes limitations off of it. Because every person that you touch is going to touch other people. And exponentially, you grow your database. Any questions there? Does Ignite have a command portion to it where they teach you command?
To some degree, yes. Anthony was going over
Okay.
that the first 2 days
Okay.
that we were having the class.
Yeah. Bold doesn't really have that so much. They'll touch on command like this is doing. If you guys aren't ever sure about how to do something in command, there is a Facebook group called 66 Days of Command. It's a 66-day challenge where they give you one part of command every single day. And after 66 days, you've gone through all parts of command. The other thing that you can do is you can just Google, because we have a lot of training videos in it within KW, and you can search for that. If you want to search just for database and smart plans and get exceptional at those. Okay, so hey, you may want to mute your phone, mute your computer if you're not talking, just unmute it when you want to say something. If you're not in some place that people aren't there. So we went through, now that you know the levels of a millionaire database, we're going to explore why using a database is a key to a successful business. So We know what the 3 levels are, so we know what a database is, okay? So now why is it a key to running a successful
Only
database?
done.
Okay.
Mama करवाना चाहिए follow करो airline highway south पर
Hey,
से
can you, whoever
मारा
that
map
is,
में
can
तो
you
मुकेल
mute the
उसे
phone, please?
तारो phone लान मारा phone करने
iPhone?
Jay, mute yourself, please.
Thank you, guys. So why use a database? Okay, so
get out what
all right, I'm going to do this.
इधर
Hang on,
phone कर लो
guys.
होते
Let me see.
पहला तने direction अभी के नहीं ते जोइल
Come on. Hello, hello, hello.
નથી આવ્યું લાગે
ફોલો કરતી ના એરલાઇન હાઈવે પર સાઉથમાં જવાનું છે એટલે તો ખબર છે.
Who is it? Let's see.
ચાલ તો કઈ નહીં
Who is it, guys?
Jay has 2
Right
iPads.
there.
મૂકી જ દેવા દે
Jay Patel,
hello
can you please turn off your iPad? You have 2 of them going.
hold on a second
Okay. Got it? Thank you. All right, that works. Okay, so why use a database? Okay, so I'm going to tell you something everybody's heard before, right? The size of your database determines the size of your bank account, right? So your database holds your relationships. It makes customer information easy to handle, and it helps improve service and strengthen relationships. That's why you want to use it. That you've heard that before, right? So a database helps you to avoid the today trap, okay? And it helps you take advantage of a predictable return on investment. So the today trap is right here. Hang on a second. Let me come here. Okay. There are 2 types of business, right? Today's business and tomorrow's business. So the today trap is when your business is only built for today. You can't predict your return on investment in the future because without your database, you're only worried about the business you have today. Does that make sense? If you're not marketing your database and working with your database, the only thing you're doing is working with the clients that you have today. Anybody have any questions about that? The National Association, okay, go ahead. What was that?
No, sorry. I was about to say it perfectly makes sense. Because I for a while I had a today database and a system of keeping track of my clients and such. But after working with Anthony for quite some time, I definitely was able to rearrange my system and how I kept it tracked. So it's made all the difference in the business.
Good. See, and so I went through my whole first year doing nothing but worrying about today business. And I cannot tell you how many times I've said, man, I wish I would have started with KW, because I feel like I'm about 3 years behind of where I would have been had I started my career with KW. Okay. So the National Association of Realtors states that people move every 10 years. Okay. If you're only focusing on people who are doing business today, you're only focusing on 10% of the business that can be done. Within 10 years between transactions, agents who don't leverage their systems to stay top of mind end up experiencing your client using a different agent. That is really disheartening when you help somebody and you haven't stayed in touch with them through your database and you haven't, and the next thing you know, you see the house that you had sold them being listed by a different agent. Too late to call them and ask them why. you know, because you know why. It's because you didn't keep in contact with them, right? So if you take control of your business, well, so we know that agents, if we don't stay top of mind by touching them, and you experience that client using a different agent, or you experience somebody that you know that you thought, you think everybody knows I'm a realtor. Anybody who knows me knows I'm a realtor, but wait a minute, JoJo just used somebody else as an agent because she forgot that you were a real estate agent because you're not doing your touches. Oh my God, I wish I would have remembered you were an agent. I would have called you. Look, I just had this happen to me, which interestingly enough, my friend's name is Julie Baker, not the same Julie Baker on this class. That's why I had to do a double take. I'm like, how'd she get access to my, no. She lives in California. I wasn't marketing her because she lives in California. She's not in Louisiana or Mississippi. She lives in California. Julie is from Louisiana. Julie is getting ready to retire and wants to buy a home in Louisiana. She went to one agent to look at a house and thought about putting an offer in on it. And then I happened to be talking to her about being real estate. She says, oh my God, I forgot you're a real estate agent. I said, why? What are you talking about? She says, I went to look at a house. I had my sister go look at a house for me because I'm going to move back home. I said, really, Julie? Really? I said, you forgot I'm a real estate? Yeah. She said, yeah, I didn't even think. I called the name on the listing that was on the listing. I called the agent's name on the sign. I said, okay, so are you going to buy that house? Well, I haven't seen it yet, but you know, I will if they do whatever. I said, okay, well, let me go in and do a video walkthrough so you can see the house. I said, did you sign something with the other agent? No. I said, well, you need to figure out who you want to work with. I said, so she said, well, I want to work with you. That's beyond question. I said, well, then you need to take the steps with the other agent for that to happen. I said, I'm going to be very uncomfortable. I said, if you write an offer on this house, I'm going to give that other agent a referral fee regardless, because that's what I do. She ended up not, they wrote the contract on the house. They didn't take it. That's fine and dandy. However, I showed her other houses and I have her under contract for a house now. I almost lost the opportunity to sell one of my best friends a house because I wasn't at marketing. I wasn't touching her because she lived in California. How silly is that? So do you think that I went back to all of my people that I know all over the US and started sending them stuff too? Absolutely. Right? Because the other part of it is that even if they're moving in the state that they're in, and they see stuff from you all the time that's relevant, that's I put them on a different kind of plan because of course I don't know their market right then. I can send them national markets and stuff like that and tell them what's happening nationally. What I can do is when they're looking to sell their house, and I always add a tagline, hey, if anybody's looking to buy or sell, I don't care what state you're in, give me a call. I can refer them out to a KW agent or to, if there's not a KW agent, I can research and find a good agent for them in that area, refer them out. I can get a 25% referral fee for that.
Even if it's not a Keller Williams?
Even if it's not a Keller Williams, I just call the agent and say, hey, I have a client that is interested in that is going to be moving in your area, want to know if you'd be interested in a referral fee and having this client. Make sense? So much work. Lanice, where's my eject button? They didn't give me an eject button for this class, by the way. It's really easy to do because, I mean, that 25%, so you understand that like in California, houses are $600,000, right? That's a cheap house in California. A lot of markets are a lot more expensive than ours is. I can't tell you how many times I've gotten a $5,000, $6,000 check on a 25% referral fee. Work your referrals, people. Work everybody you know.
And that's just on a phone call and some paperwork.
That's just on a phone call and one form sent over to have them sign on the referral. That's all that is. You know people, I mean, I don't know about how, where, have most of you lived here all your lives? Yeah?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. So I have not lived here all of my life. And the other advantage I have is that I had a trucking company for 14 years. So there's no place that I don't know people. Right? And you think I don't have my work cut out for me because I'm still putting a lot of those people into my database because this just happened to me a few weeks ago. So it doesn't matter where somebody is. Internationally, we have KW International. You know people who live internationally in other countries, you can refer them out. Chances are we have a KW office in that country. There's a list online of all the countries we're in. So if you can do that if you can have those people in your database and you take control of your database and you have a purposeful, consistent approach to your contacts, that's how you build a path to your future, right? And how you get repeat and referral business from your sphere of influence. And that means not just the people who are living here in your neighborhood. That means people that you know anywhere. By the way, selfish plug here, I'm licensed in Mississippi too. If you ever need anybody, I do referral fees. So just, you know, stuff like that, just letting people know. I assume everybody in the market centers knows that I'm licensed in Mississippi. I find out a very hard way that they don't. Okay, so just anybody that you know and whatever they are, and build a referral network of agents for yourself. You have that opportunity in command to build a referral network. Start researching some people who you think have similar ideas of you and start sending them a thing saying, hey, introducing yourself, saying, hey, you know, I am, you know, Charlotte Johnson. I am licensed in Louisiana, Mississippi. I work the Louisiana and Mississippi Gulf Coast areas. If you ever have a referral down here, I would love to have it. I would love to be your referral partner if I have people going up there. And introduce yourself. Okay, and get those referral partners. Okay, so two types of business, today's and tomorrow's. We want you to build your business on tomorrow, not just today, okay? Okay, so why use a database? Okay. Right here, these 100 people, if anybody wants to take the time to count them, there's 100 people here. Okay, these 100 people are in your market. Okay. Now, come on. Okay, so out of that 100 people, 65 are looking to be homeowners and 35 are not. Okay, everybody get that? So those 35 people that are missing there, they're not looking to be a homeowner. So out of 65 of these people, 58 of those people are off the market, which means right now they're off the market. The remaining people, 7, are your today's business. Okay, so in your database, this is 100 people in your database. 65 of those 100 are looking to be homeowners. Only 7 of them are today's business. The rest of them are off the market. So if you're working without a database and you're only focused on today's business, you're focused on finding the orphan, the person who isn't already represented by an agent out of those 7. You get that? You're only looking for today, for those 7 people that are in the market today. And now those 7 people, you got to hope and pray that nobody has an agent yet. That's if you're focused on today's market. Okay. So according to NAR, people move every 10 years. So if you're only focused on doing today's business, you're focusing on, did I already? wait a second, did I miss my stuff? Yeah, you're focused on, so if you're focusing on 10% of the business, that can be done. If you consider all your contacts as potential clients, tomorrow's business, you automatically have a much bigger market. You automatically start marketing to those 65 people instead of those 7 people who are looking to own a home or are looking to move. So they may not be looking to move today. They may not be looking to move tomorrow. They may not be looking to move next year. But with you consistently marketing to them, 2 things are going to happen. One is that anybody that they know who's looking, they're going to talk to them. They're going to mention your name. The other thing that's going to happen is that if you're consistently marketing to them, you may make them move. You may make them move sooner than they even thought because, whoops, you sent them something that's like, oh my gosh, I love that. Right? You're top of mind with them, right? So if you considered, like I said, you have a much bigger market, take control of your database and having a consistent approach to your contacts is how you build a path to your future. Got that? So I'm going to ask you a question. I'm sure you hear this all the time in Ignite. Does anybody have any ahas from the material we've covered already?
I think you've really kind of opened my mind to expanding the material that I'm sending my people that are on my database, different options that I have to stay updated with them and at the forefront of their mind.
That's good. That's a big plus. If you can wrap your mind around the opportunities you have with your database. Anything else? Anybody else have any ahas?
There were some wonderful promotional ideas that I had never thought of. So those are things that I definitely wrote down and I want to capitalize on.
Awesome. Anybody else? Natasha?
I was cutting people out if they weren't in this state, and
Okay, you were cutting people out if they weren't in the state? Yeah, don't do that. What else?
Information, contact information that seems trivial to us is not. All that information is important.
Yep, exactly. So take the time. You know what? I have a notepad on my phone that I am all the time plugging in little things on my notepad, and I go back and fill it in on my database. Everybody jokes to me because I also have a recorder that says note to self, and I'll listen to those notes at the end, So how about anybody else? Any ahas out there? We got some quiet people. So my ahas is you guys have some great promotional ideas too, and I'm very impressed with that. I think that you guys are on that right path. I had my big aha when my friend who lived in California was looking to buy back here, but I wasn't marketing her. Luckily, I talked to her enough that I got to that in time. So yeah, market to everybody, okay? Market to your grandmother too, because she's gonna be your biggest advocate. All right, does anybody need a break to go to the restroom or anything like that real quick? Yes, no? I mean, I know most of y'all are on Zoom. You two okay here? Okay, all right. So why use a database? Okay, so we're gonna take advantage of a predictable return on investment. An average return on investment, here you go, is $10 for every $1 spent to $14 for every $1 spent. Okay, so for every dollar you invest in your database activities, expect at least $14, right? It's possible to get much more with repeat and referral business, which I get much more. We figured out how much money I'm getting on a return on my database, and I'm getting about $44 for every dollar I spent. Okay, so, and the reason is because I'm getting so many referrals. Okay, so some KW agents have reported a return on investment as high as 40 to $1. Okay, just depends on how much you're marketing to people and how you're marketing to them. Okay, so A 40-to-1 ratio is possible by communicating consistently with your database, specifically your sphere of influence. It's possible to see a higher return on investment through gaining repeat and referral business through your sphere of influence. So each customer, there's going to be 3 associated costs, okay? One is generating that lead. How are you generating that lead? So I am finding that I am generating more leads through our Facebook campaigns at a cheap, I think my average cost per lead is like 30 cents. Okay, now, on top of that cost between generating that lead is I have a little app that I would highly recommend to anybody who is a real estate agent. It's called Forewarn. It costs $19.99 a month, okay? It was developed as a safety app for clients or for realtors, because somebody called in that you didn't know them with their phone number. You can plug in their phone number and you can get information about that person. There's a lot more things you can do with it. You can plug in somebody's name and get their phone number. You can plug in somebody's name and get their phone number and address. So there's a lot of things that you can do with that. And I use that when I get those leads on Facebook that somebody hasn't given their address. I plug in their phone number. I match their phone number with the name they signed up in. All of a sudden, I have their mailing address. I'm a genius. I know where they live. So then I look them up on the assessor's website according to wherever they live, and I can see what kind of a house they live in. I can see if it's in their name. I can see all kinds of stuff. I spend time cross-checking and referencing things so that I know exactly how I can market people. Okay? So if I'm spending 30 cents a lead to get the person's name and phone number, right? But then I can get so much more information just because I spend another $19.99 a month. And if I'm getting 300 leads a month, I divide that $19.99 by 300. I'm spending pennies for leads. You go to realtor.com. Has anybody ever used realtor.com or Zillow or anything like that to generate leads? Anybody in here?
Not really, no.
Okay. I have. When I first started, I absolutely did. I could spend $1,000 a month on realtor.com easily and maybe have 3 or 4 workable leads out of the month. And I had a high rate of converting off of compared to what usually happens. So instead of that, I take that $1,000 a month and put it into my database. Right? But my lead generating, because of command, I'm able to get it for pennies on the dollar to generate leads. Okay, so with each customer, there's 3 associated costs. Generating that lead, so I can generate a lead for about 30 cents a lead. 30 to 50 cents a lead, okay? Converting that lead to the customer, that's gonna be a cost, and converting that customer into a referral. Okay? So those are your 3 costs associated. So those are going to be the places where you're going to spend your money. Okay? So to take advantage of a predictable return on investment, there's 3 important considerations. Okay? The lowest lead cost, the cheapest customer strategy is working with people, with existing customers and people who know and like you, right? We've covered that already. Work with people that know and like you. The lowest lead cost is working with them. People do business with people they know and like. When a database is maintained properly and it's developed, it will begin to produce leads in the form of repeat and referral business, and that will have the lowest conversion cost. Having a database like using command makes it easier to engage in consistent follow-up, right? That's what we're looking for. We're looking for consistent follow-up. So when you learn how to develop, it pays for itself. A database is easier to do consistent, makes it easier to do consistent follow-up. And when you're good at consistent follow-up, the resulting leads end up paying for themselves. Wait, why isn't my, no, I don't want it to shrink. Don't shrink on me. Hang on a second. No, okay, it doesn't know what it's doing. Okay, so anyway, do you guys, next thing we're gonna do is learn how to develop your database. Do you guys have any questions about this, about your lowest lead cost, conversion cost, and how it pays for itself? I mean, you guys pay, how much do we pay for Command here? How much do you pay for Command at KW?
Free, essentially.
I think we have a technology fee built into our fee. I think our fees are like $40 a month or $44 a month, and part of that is your technology fee. Hello, that's what you're paying for Command. I have looked at other databases out there. Some guys spend as much as $3,000 to $4,000 a month just for the database alone. Okay, so that is, okay, so we're gonna go with developing our database now. Okay, so we're going to figure out how we feed it consistently, how we segment it into groups, how we engage with a touch campaign, and how we take care of it over time, okay? Which we've touched a little bit on this stuff now, but now we're gonna get more in depth on it and why. So prospecting, look at this, look at all of this here. So there's two ways you can feed your database. You can prospect or you can market. Okay, so if you look at this pyramid, if you look at how many people, so it's like a pinnacle. Have you guys ever seen the pinnacle where the higher you get to the top, to the peak, the fewer people you affect, versus the broad base on the bottom? You can affect more at a less expensive amount. So marketing requires money. It's passive. You have to wait for the leads to come to you, right? So it's money intensive. That would be like your realtor.coms, your different things like that you do to market yourself. Whether you're running a billboard, what are different ways people market themselves that can be money intensive? Billboards, ads, all kinds of stuff like that. That's money intensive, passive. You get long-term results, okay? Prospecting, it's proactive, okay? It requires time. You're doing the groundwork to find the leads. You're the one who's doing that. So you get immediate results with prospecting because you're calling people, you're talking to people. So prospecting isn't just, let me pick up a phone and call expireds. There's some people who excel at that, and that's what they do. It's not just picking up the phone and calling for sale by owners. There's some people who excel at that, and that's what they do. I know one person who excels at prospecting in coffee houses. She'll go in there with her KW thing on her laptop there, and she'll sit there and do her work in a coffee house, and she'll engage people around her about that she's a realtor and she's prospecting. She has her cards there. She gets information for people. She's prospecting for new business. You know, I prospect in many different ways. I go out to the businesses that I already have in my database. I go out to them and I'll deliver donuts. I'll drop off business cards. When COVID first started, I went around to these businesses and I did videos of me singing about their business, changing the lyrics to old 70s songs and singing about how COVID has affected their business. I did Facebook Live videos. So if anybody knows me, that was huge for me because I'm just like, yeah, no. There's a lot of things I will do, but looking silly and goofy is a bit harder for me. And I got such a response from the people in my community doing that I had businesses calling my sister and requesting me to go over and do one for their business. Okay, marketing yourself doesn't have to be expensive. Prospecting doesn't have to be boring. Prospecting can just be caring about your community and how you go about doing it. One approach may not be the best. Maybe you have to do a combination of prospecting and marketing, which I do. I do prospecting and I do Facebook ads on the listings that I have. And I generally do listing ads. I don't do Facebook ads saying, hey, use me as your realtor. I do listing ads about the listings that I have. And then when people contact me, I'm contacting them back. Okay? So example tags, segmenting it into group. We talked about feeding consistently. We talked about that and how we're going to do that with prospecting. The other thing, let's go back here on the prospecting. What are some other ways that you guys can think of for prospecting? How do you guys prospect for leads?
I've done door knocking before open houses. It's been hit or miss, especially post-COVID. But
Okay.
it's I've gotten good reactions from it though, in terms of just like lead prospecting, in terms of, yeah, go.
Have you held a virtual open house yet? Invited everybody in your database?
No, have not held a virtual open house yet. I usually do social media posts though, days following up to the open house, where I'm constantly letting people know about it. I make videos. I post all my marketing materials for it. But no, I haven't done an actual virtual open house for it just yet.
So if you're going to take the time to do an open house with COVID, I would take the time to open up Zoom and do a virtual open house while I'm there.
No, absolutely. Absolutely.
Right? Or Facebook Live it. Facebook Live is a little harder because they can be kind of long. But if you do open up a Zoom, which Zoom has a free account, you can have it for like, I think a Zoom room for like 45 minutes, more than enough time to do a virtual open house, record it, post it to a YouTube channel.
Okay. Yeah, that works.
Right? That's it. So you can still get, because if you're somebody who gets good results out of open houses, then people are liking you and they're liking the way that you're presenting it to them. So do that. Even if, so here's a challenge for you. Do it, open up a Zoom, don't invite anybody to it, just record it and look at it and refine it and put it up on a YouTube channel for yourself.
That's a great idea. No, absolutely.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, what other way to prospect? You're welcome. I don't want COVID to stop you guys from doing things that work, okay? And there's a lot of things that work and a lot of ways that we can find to make it new, because the reality of it is that our world has changed. And we need to change with it. Pardon me?
I said, this is where I'm struggling. It seems like a lot of the things I would be doing, even trying to join groups and that, or they're all virtual, and the activities that you want to do, they're really more geared towards do it by yourself and then provide the result. But so anything you guys have to offer.
So what are some of the things that you like to do? What are some of the groups? So brainstorming around working how you can turn something that you like to do into a prospecting, even virtually. What are some of those things that you're running into?
You know, I'm active in my church, but the things we are doing lately is just like do food drives and just drop it at the church, or make sandwiches and bring it to the church. It's never something that's really into the groups. And I'm active in the Chi Omega alumni, but again, we're just doing kind of service activities and nothing together. So some of the things we used to do, I'm not really getting together with folks. So
okay, so why don't you do a virtual auction with your alumni? Get some people to donate to you. Go out and get some people to donate. Do a Zoom auction to raise money for whatever charity you're organization is working for.
Okay.
And every auction item that you do, and it's sponsored by your name with Keller Williams, and invite people in for the auction. And then when you get that list of them on Zoom, you have a list of people and you record that. And then you go back to every person that was on there and you send them a handwritten thank you note for participating in your auction to raise money for such and such.
That's a great idea.
Right? So that's one way to get your people from your sorority to be able to get them in a group and to be able to have an impact on what you're doing as a sorority, but also to be able to get your name to be able to open up that two-way conversation with them.
Okay. And I could probably do the same thing with the Tulane alumni.
Absolutely. There you go. So, and I mean, and Tulane alumni are great people to market. I mean, my college alumni are awesome people to market. And you just have to find, so my mantra in real estate has been, and it will always be, come from contribution. And anybody who knows me knows that that's what I say. Whatever you're doing with somebody, you have to come from a place of contribution. Even if you're prospecting for clients, you come from a place of contribution. What can you give them? So as you're prospecting with your alumni and you're prospecting with the sororities and you're prospecting, what can you give to the organizations that you're prospecting from that can make them open up two-way communications with you?
Great idea. Thanks.
You're welcome. Anybody else having any challenges on how to market during this age of COVID, how to prospect during the age of COVID?
Hey, Miss Jennifer,
Anybody?
this is Kay. So I'm working on doing some door tags, but what do you suggest about making like little flyers and going to like home improvement stores and stuff and putting those on people's cars? What do you think about that?
So I have never, first of all, that's not two-way communication. That's a hit and miss. It's going to cost you more money than the results that you're going to get out of it. Okay. Instead, I would figure out some way to, okay. So if I was going to do something like that, so I wouldn't do that exactly. If I wanted to attract those kinds of people, have you had any listings, Kay?
No, ma'am, not yet. I'm still in my first official week. So to say.
You're still in your first what, baby?
Like official week of like getting information and
First
stuff.
week of real estate. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Good. Congratulations. At least you're starting where I wished I would have started. There you go. So if you have prospects for listings, even if you have your own home, I would look at something in my home and think, how could I change the way my home looks compared to how I want it to look? How can I make it look how I want it to look? And I would take something simple, a Nest thermostat. A Nest thermostat costs $200 and something, right? So I would do a series of home improvement things based around this Nest thermostat. I would be like, look, I just bought this Nest thermostat, and I would market that out to everybody. Then I would say, hey, stay tuned and see how easy it is to install this. And then I would video myself installing this Nest thermostat. And then I would take pictures of my cell phone as I'm controlling my Nest thermostat from all these different places. I might go into the grocery store and say, oh, look, I got to change the temperature 1 degree on my thermostat. Or I might go into a dentist office, say, oh, look, I'm going to change my Nest thermostat here. Just real easy little Facebook Live things or little videos that you can add up to and make it funny. Make it something that people are going to be like, oh my, I love that sense of humor. Stuff like that. That would be, you can do it all virtually. It doesn't cost you anything more than if you want to invest, whatever it is that you want to invest in. And seriously, I installed a Nest thermostat. It takes 5 minutes.
Okay, thank you.
But as far as going and putting flyers on people's cars, what are you going to give them of value when you do that?
You may even devalue because some people get aggravated when you touch their car.
They do, but if you're going to do a flyer and you're going to say, hey, call me for your opportunity to win a $25 gift card to Home Depot.
There you go. I'm actually doing, oh, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
That's okay. No, I call that, we call that kind of a reverse bold, how you can get people to call you. So, but you just have to make sure when you look at it that the cost for doing your flyer isn't too much. And then, you know, a $25 gift card to Home Depot, you know, and then when you call them, when they call you, yeah, and I can say call or text me your name, your address, your email, and your phone number for your chance for a $25 gift certificate. Go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say, I have I'm a veteran myself, and I'm very big into doing things for veterans and kind of helping out. And so I'm doing a fundraiser right now for the Quad Vets, which is a nonprofit for homeless veterans here in Hammond. And so this weekend, I'm actually running a 10K. I'm also into fitness and trying to stay in shape as best as I can. And so I'm trying to like promote my business as well as do a little bit for the community as well. And so, you know, doing a fundraiser, I've gotten some sponsors that are sponsoring me per kilometer to do the 10K run. And you know, I'm trying to convert that over into real estate and to, you know, get a few leads with that. And you know, any advice for that sort of thing other than, you know, what we've already come across already?
Yeah, I would. So I'm a veteran too. Thank you for your service. Navy Air here.
Army National Guard.
Don't laugh because Navy Air is a branch of the service. Thank you very much.
I went to Navy, the Navy City School.
Okay. So that is something that is near and dear to my heart. There shouldn't be no such thing as a homeless veteran.
Right.
Okay. That just shouldn't be something that's happening. So I probably know the VA loan process better than a lot of lenders do. And right now I'm getting VA loans in for just a little over 2%. Okay. I market to veterans all the time. The low interest rates, the other thing that people don't realize is that VA loans don't require a minimum credit score. I talk to vets all the time. I will run veteran Facebook groups and meetings for, are you a vet? You know, don't have no credit score or don't have a very good credit score, give me a call. And I will get them into a group, and I have a particular lender that I work with, and they call me, right? They message me on Facebook, and I just tell them, message me, and they get into a group with me. I have a particular lender. I've gotten guys into homes that have no credit score. I've gotten guys into homes that have a 560 credit score. You know, it's just guys and women. It's just getting information to them because a lot of them don't know, they don't think they can have one. I find that especially with some of our disabled vets, and they're getting a disability check from the VA that more than qualifies them to buy a home. So you could do that kind of stuff, just putting out something there that specifically take a group of business cards that you have, and on the back of them put, you know, 5 steps to own your home if you're a veteran.
Okay.
And the 5th step is call you. Actually, the 1st step is call you, because you can get them in touch with a lender and what they need to do.
Okay. So
when you, pardon me?
So is it just up to the individual lender on, you know, what credit score they accept for VA loans, or Like, I deal a lot with Movement Mortgage, and they're saying that it's like a 580 or something like that. Is there a way to navigate around that?
Yeah, I don't use Movement Mortgage, nothing against them, but I just don't.
Okay.
I would, first I'd check out Keller Mortgage.
Okay.
The second thing I would check out would be some of the small mortgage companies that are not, that will, a small mortgage broker that will work very hard to get your client approved. Right? I happen to use a lady out of Hammond, Louisiana, at the Right Choice Mortgage, because she will work her tail off to any way possible to figure out how to get somebody approved.
Yeah.
There's a lot of smaller mortgage brokers out there that are like that.
Thank you so much.
Okay, so yeah, if y'all, need a number later on, send me an email or something, and I will share their contact information. But I tend to find that the smaller mortgage brokers tend to work harder for the individual clients. Does that make sense?
Absolutely, and thank you so
Okay,
much for all of that.
Yeah, and then the other thing, there's other things you can do to market to the veterans. For one, you can become certified as a military relocation person. Okay, so which I have that also. If you get your MRP, you can do some stuff. I know some agents that, go with Veterans United and they pay a referral fee when they get a lead and stuff like that. I can't stand that. And I'm not going to force or have a client that because sometimes as having shopped in my own programs, I've learned that there's different big name people in the military lending place that aren't necessarily the best place for a military person to get a loan from. That sometimes going right through a small mortgage broker that does VA loans is much better. So there's a lot of things you can do to market to your military people and to still effectively raise money, or raise your database and do stuff like that. Anybody else have any questions on challenges during COVID on prospecting? Let's talk about consistent feeding a minute. Just a second too on this. Is that somebody raised their hand? Who raised their hand? Let me see. Chat. Let me see. Oh, yeah. Hi, Rita. Thanks for that. Rita just shared the information in chat for you guys on the lender that I use there in Hammond. Because if you look in your chat box on Zoom, she just shared that. So when you talk about feeding something consistently, how many new leads would you target for? Set a goal for yourself. When you're lead generating, set a goal for yourself that you're going to add X number of new leads to your database a day, and don't stop lead generating until you do. It's quite simple. Your job as a real estate agent, number one, is to lead generate. You should be lead generating every day until you accomplish the goal that you have set yourself for lead generating, right? So when we talk about numbers in the database and stuff like that, then you go back and say, okay, if I need this many numbers in a database and I'm going to work 5 days a week, how many leads am I going to put in my database per day? And how much do I have to lead generating to get that number of leads? Okay, so let's go into it. Let's talk into segmenting into groups. A business relationship. Someone who hasn't done any business yet, you can have that as a group. You can have an active client as a group. You can have a past client as a group. You can have someone who has referred business. Okay, and Anthony I'm so sorry, but Anthony just put something in chat that if Market Center 94 is open tomorrow, somebody read that. What did he say? Because I just made it go away.
If Market Center number 94 is open tomorrow, we will have classes, Friday's class. If we are closed, we will push it to next Friday.
Okay, everybody got that? So if it's open tomorrow, we'll have the class. If it's closed, we'll have it next Friday. Okay, thank you. So some example tags, okay? A past client, someone who's referred business to you. Maybe somebody hasn't been a client themselves. I have a CPA who, well, actually, I'll take this. Okay, I have another realtor in my town that is a licensed appraiser. He's a licensed appraiser and he's a realtor. And he's a police officer, a captain in the police precinct, and he has an insurance company. He doesn't have a lot of time to do his real estate, but he gets a lot of appraisal calls. He refers every single person who wants to sell or buy a house to me. I pay him a referral fee. Now, he hasn't done any business with me personally. However, he gives me a lot of business. I have him tagged, you know, somebody who refers business to me. And every single person he's referred to me, I have tagged as his name referral. Okay. And a VIP, which he is, a serial repeat / referral. Now I have a lot of VIPs. I have one lady that I did 4 transactions in 1 year over $1 million. I have another investment couple that I think were on the 5th or 6th transaction this year alone. I have people who have, I have this one couple that I sold them their house 2 years ago. They decided they wanted to build a house, so I sold them the land that they're going to build their house on. Then I sold their house, and now I'm selling another house that they own in Poplarville while they're building their new house. So that's 4 transactions from one client in 18 months. That's a serial repeat referral. My guy's a serial repeat. Anybody that you have repeat business like that consistently, or like in the case of my local guy who gives all his referrals to me, those people, take care of them. Just take care of them. So you, and tag them so that you can take care of them. Okay. So example tags, also hobbies and interests. We've already talked about that. Property types, you know, this people who are looking for fishing camps, and people who are looking for vacant land, and people who are looking for investment property, or people who are looking for acreage, houses with acreage. Tag them as far as what they're looking, people who are looking for hunting land, right? Investors and vendors, you know, we get solicited all the time as realtors that people want to do business with us, right? So the first time somebody calls me up and says that they want to do business with me, I say, hey, question for you. Who do you know that's interested in buying or selling real estate today? And they say, well, I don't know. I said, great. Can I have your information so that I can reach back with you in a week or 2 weeks or a month and ask that same question? If they say yes, they get on my vendor list. If they say no, I say, you have a very nice day. And I wish you much luck. Because your vendors, it should be a 2-way communication. If I'm bringing my title guy 60-something transactions a year, you better be giving me something back, right? If I'm bringing my lender X amount of loans a year, they better be giving me something back, right? So tag your vendors and stay in front of your vendors, because don't let a lender tell you I don't get leads. They may not get many, but they all have family and friends too. Doesn't have to be somebody that they're doing a loan for. It can be them referring you to their family and friends. Okay? So segmented and to grow. People respond best when the communication that you have reflects what matters to them. It's important to have conversations with your database, not just about real estate. You know, leverage the conversations to find commonalities, things that you have a shared interest in, and things that your contacts have a shared interest in, and use that information to break your database into groups. Okay? So, hey, they're LSU fans. Hey, they have dogs. Hey, they're a dog breeder. I've got people that breed Akitas, Schnauzers. I got like 4 or 5 different people, and they're all in a group for me. You know, so in Command, your database is already segmented into leads and contacts, because when you put somebody in, you have to mark it as a lead or contact. How many of us have just been marking everybody as contacts?
Guilty as charged.
Yeah, right. So how many of us really have a lead versus a contact? How many of us have known what that difference is when we look at that? Yeah, see, so because remember what I said, for leads, you have a 19 touch to convert them over to a 36 touch to a contact, right? Yeah, no, a lead is just somebody that you have their information from, and yeah, right. So that's a lead. So all these Facebook people that anybody isn't working or something like that, that's a lead. People that you are friends with on Facebook and maybe you haven't personally contacted, but you guys are friends, that's a lead. Turn them into a contact. Okay. So your database is already segmented. You can segment it further with tags. And once you find out what their qualities and interests and hobbies are, then you can group your clients to have a larger scale effectiveness on communication, right? So whenever possible, the messages that you communicate, I think we talked about this a lot, should be relevant to their likes, dislikes, personal interests, and any past interactions with you. So say somebody contacted you to say, hey, I'm interested in this house over here, and the house is under contract already. You put a search out on the MLS for houses that resemble that, and you start sending them to them, say, hey, thought you might like this. And you ask them, what was it about that house that you liked? You know, if you have a conversation with somebody and you're telling them, oh, that's under contract already, and they're like hanging up on you, and you're like, you know, letting them go without finding out what they're looking for, shame on you. You need to find out, what was it that attracted them to that house? What are you looking for? Hey, do you mind if I set up a search so that possibly if another house comes out like this, you can see it immediately when it gets listed and not after it's under contract? Oh yeah, I would love it. Okay, here you go. And then you go into your matrix and you set that up. Because then you get, what do you get when you're asking them that information? You get their email address, you get their name, you get their phone number, because I've already called you. And then all you have to do is look at, and when you're talking to them, say, well, where do you currently live? And they'll say, oh, I live in St. Tammany Parish or Washington Parish or Tangipahoa Parish. And you go to the assessor's website and you look up their name and you have their home address. How many of y'all are cross doing that so you can get everything filled in? Anybody?
A while, but Anthony has given me a lot of things to implement and doing it. And I've been in, this is my second year in real estate, and I've started to do them in my second year.
Okay. So, I mean, being able to get all that information and doing that makes your database more complete. Right? So we went over how we can segment our database. I think we spent a good amount of time like that. Hobbies, fishing, hunting, and the things we can do with it. We can have fun with it. Pets, you know, just anything. Cooking. Restaurants, new restaurants, people who you notice that like to eat out and they're always posting pictures of, hey, we ate out here, hey, we ate out here. Goodness gracious, keep a shout out for new restaurants. And when there's a new restaurant open up, send it out to those people who are foodies, right? All kinds of stuff like that. So what are some other ways that you guys know that you can tag and organize your database? What are some ways that you're thinking of as you're sitting here listening to all this?
I've recently been breaking mine down into birthday tags. So a tag for each month of the year. Because I know you can sort them through your birthday, but it's a little bit, it's one extra step to add to it for tags, for quick searches, quick lookups.
And what do you do with that?
And I just break them down into the birthday months. So I look up, cross-reference all of my contacts with social media profiles where I can find out their birthday. And then I tag them with their birthday month. And then each month as we go through from here on out, so this month I'll pull up all my October birthdays, and then I'll be able to see exactly how many people in my client list have birthdays that month that I need to put on my list to call for the Birthday Smart Plan.
Oh, it's October 8th already.
Yeah, no.
Okay, just saying. I think that's wonderful, and hopefully, you know, like the people that you do have in November, you're working now in November, and you're writing out a personal card to them, and so, because you know what, I'm gonna tell you something. Personal cards go a long way. Personal cards can even go further than a phone call. Plus, then you can have two touches. You can send them a card during the month, and you can call them on their birthday day. And
So
you
I
got
try
two
to aim
touches
for it.
that.
I try to get them a phone call, plus a social media post, plus a card, plus one or two other touches in there if possible.
Yeah, I don't do a social media post generally. I mean, I'll post it when it comes up and say, hey, happy birthday, whatever. But everybody does that. Not many people send them a, you know, $5 Starbucks gift card or something like that. Have a cup of coffee on your birthday, or, you know, a birthday cookie, you know, some little thing like that. And then the card that just talks about, you know, hey, whatever. But that's a good one. What else? Anybody else? Any tags that you might think of that you could tag somebody as?
I tag people by the city and maybe like their job criteria, if somebody's in the chemical plant or some type of service industry.
That's a good one. We have how many of you guys have the book that talks about all of the national days? National Day of the Praying Mantis. I don't know how, you know, that's always a lot of fun too, because people don't realize that, hey, it was the National Day for slacking off.
There's a website for that, it's nationaltoday.com.
Yeah, nationaltoday.com. I have a book on it too. That's always a fun one. So as you look at those days for the month that are coming up, you can plan some kind of a advertising to the segments that's going to affect in your group. And as you look at that, you may see more segments that you can break people out into, right? Alumni, college alumni is one. High school, graduation high school, oh my gosh. I'm surprised at how many 60-year-olds are talking about their high school graduation. I'm like, I can barely remember mine. But high schools, especially down here, because a lot of people here, if you get into the rural communities, they live in the same place they've lived their whole lives, right? I have taken a record of everything that's happened in 2020, and I am doing a remember when mail out for my clients at the end of 2021. Remember when this happened in 2020? Aren't we glad 2021 was so much better? Because we can't possibly have another year like this year. You know, so just look at that and it'll give you some more ideas of how to tag people, okay? Segment them into groups. So once you segment them into groups, you have custom tags where you're doing this. So you can see here, like I can do if you look at here, you can create a custom tag. You can write in the tag name. people who like dragonflies, whatever. And you can pick whatever color you want to make it, and then you can hit create. And that's your tag, okay? They allow you to create categories to add to your contacts. So buyer, seller, renter, investor, first-time buyer, luxury. Remember I said you can have as many tags as you want to on somebody. Open house contact. That's why I tag all of my campaign referrals in Facebook with what house that they responded to in the campaign, right? So let me see if I can show you. Let me see if this will actually let me. Let me see if I can log into, let me check something here. Hang on a second. Let me, blah, 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 blah. Let me go here. Let me go to, command, let's see. Oh gosh, this is going to be the good one. Yeah. Whatever. Let's see if it's this one. I have so many password guys. It's like, okay, let me see. Nope, it's not that one either. Let's see if it's. Good Lord, let me just do this. Now I'm gonna have to change all my passwords. What do you think about that? Let's see. Okay, now go over here. Let me go. No. I hate when I don't have my own computer. Let's see, inbox. Here we go, inbox. Okay. Really? No. Get rid of all that. Get rid of all that. Get rid of all. Stop it. All right. And of course, it doesn't look like that. There we go. Password reset. We'll just do this. Okay. Reset password. Oh my goodness. Okay. Nobody look. Okay. I know I was kind of making a funny. Okay. Okay. So we got that. Okay. So return to the login page. Okay. Yay. Okay. So that wasn't the place that I wanted to be though. I wanted to be at command. There we go. Has everybody created a tag before?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So everybody has done it. Everybody knows how to create a custom tag.
Yes.
Okay. So look at all those things I have past due. Hang on a second. So like, come on. So all these things that have come in here that I don't have primary addresses for are things that came in from campaigns for today. Okay, so this one was on a house that I have, Oak Crest. Okay, so you edit. Okay, so there's their name, there's their phone number, there's their email address. Here's their tag. So I have a thing, so you can go campaign, and I have campaign Oak Crest already made, but let's say I wanted to create another tag for them that said test for database class, okay? And it doesn't come up as a tag. So I create custom tag, okay? I do the tag number, and then I add that. Okay, and and you can make it say anything. I'm making a tag, you know, just because I want to. Or believe it or not, I have some people that I have in my database that can be difficult clients, and I may tag them as handle with care, HWC tags. Okay, so that's how you make a tag, and then you just save it, and then they're tagged in there. So they wanted me to go over that for you guys with how we do that. So it's like, okay, so that's how you do. So, and you can tell that you can have it, like we said, as many tags as you want to. I have people tagged multiple ways. Okay, so are there any questions before we go on past the tags? Everybody can make a tag. Jay Patel, can you make a tag? Are you still there? Rita?
Yes, I know how to make a tag.
Thank you. Okay, all righty. So let's go to the, Rita gets called out, guys, because she's on my career development committee. Aren't you glad, Rita? Okay, leads. People who you have the right to at least have a one-way conversation with. So when somebody goes in and fills out, for example, your campaign, and they're doing that Facebook, filling out that information, they've given you the right to have at least a one-way conversation with them, okay? So the touch campaign, 19 to connect. This is what we were talking about earlier, okay? So the whole thing about these is that it's a system. You need to have systems in place so that things just happen systematically. Some of you are going to end up growing your stuff and being making a team your own selves one day. And before you do that, you want to have systems in place that every person you bring in to work with you has those ways. Some of you want to go on vacation when you're a realtor, and you want to have systems in place that make it easy for you to maintain your business when you're not right here, right? So this is all about making it systematically. Even if you're just doing your database, make sure you have everybody in there tagged as either a lead or a contact. So pull up all your contacts and say, wait, are they really contacts, or am I just having one-way conversations with them? If you're just having one-way conversations with them, change them to a lead, right? And begin to market them appropriately according to what they are in your database, okay? So as you grow your business, you need to focus on staying in touch with your database through systematic campaigns, through systematic ways, using those touch smart plans, and touch campaigns. Your ones in command can be leveraged to communicate automatically with your database. For example, if I go to smart plans here and it says Joanna doesn't have any smart plans yet, and she is I've got her email address. I'll look up her address here in a minute, but she is like somebody, maybe I'm going to put her, let me see if they have a 19. No, they don't have a 19. Let me look at. So I could put her on, if I wanted to do all the 19 touch, we would go through that 19 touch thing over here that says we're supposed to have 4 quarterly phone calls, right? So we'd set her up on several different plans. We'd set her up on the quarterly phone call right there. So we'd go, my quarterly call plan, select. Okay, so you can do when you're going to start that. Are you going to start now, or are you going to start it on a following date? Maybe I'm going to do some research on her and I'm going to start it on October 19th. Or maybe I'm going to do some more touches with her and I'm going to start it because the quarter starts October. This is the beginning of the quarter, October, November, December. So then you just confirm it, and it says that confirm you want the following contacts to be subscribed to this smart plan. So there's a phone call, a delay of 90 days, and a repeat unlimited times on it. Okay, if you have a Twilio account, I'm not doing it. This is for my phone call, confirm. Now on October 19th, that's gonna come up as you see she's on that, right? So on October 19th, that's gonna come up saying that I need to call her, and then it'll come up 90 days later. It'll come up again 90 days later. So it automates what I need to do. So we had that quarterly contact. So it's like, okay, 12 touches, either a monthly email, newsletter, market report, or video. So then I'm going to go back to her, and I'm going to go back to a smart plan, and I'm going to say, okay, let me look and see. So I've got my, well, they don't have a, let's see, add contact. They don't have a email here. Oh, here we go. My monthly neighborhood. So here's what I would use. I would use my monthly neighborhood, add to smart plan. Once again, maybe I want to start that in, maybe I want to send that to her at the, because I'm going to talk to her on the 19th. So maybe I'll send that to her on the 30th. And I will confirm. And then it says send an HTML email, delay 30 days, repeats unlimited time. Content record is, okay, so this is interesting. So if you don't have their address and a neighborhood in there, it won't let you set them up. Right? So now I have to go back to her and I have to say, okay, so what would her address be? Okay, so we've got her phone number. I've got her name. Let's see. Okay, so I'm going to pull up my trusty little app that I have here. Oh my goodness, do I get a lot of missed calls when I set my phone down? Okay, let's see. I'm going to go to this app I was telling you about earlier called Forewarn. Can you guys see me on the camera or no? You guys see me on Zoom?
No.
Okay, yeah. Okay, you can't? Oh, I turned my camera on. I wonder if it turns it off automatically. Anyway, so I'm going to go in here. I'm going to plug in this phone number. I'm going to say, okay, 225-252-3861. Okay, and I'm going to search. And this is going to bring up somebody that has a different name. No, it doesn't. This is going to bring up probably her husband's name. But now I have an address for her. She lives in Denham Springs, Louisiana. This is not in my area, right? Because it's got the same last name and everything like there. So I'm going to go down to additional contact information. I am going to put in their address, and it's going to be, and so right here it comes up. I'm going to do that right there. Okay. So now her address is in there. Okay. And then I'm going to go down here now because this phone number also came in. I probably have her spouse's information too now. But anyway, so I'm going to save that. Okay. And then I am going to add the neighborhood. So I'm going to find it on the map. And I'm going to look for her address. Okay, Denham Springs, Louisiana. Okay, now I'm going to make this bigger here. I'm going to try to make it bigger. There you go. So you see that she is real close. Look at that. When you make it bigger, you can see that she's actually in a neighborhood, right? You click on that. You save that. Now she is now she has a neighborhood, a Bend Road, Beverly Drive. Now, if you ever want to send them something according to their neighborhood stuff, you click on this preview stuff and you can look. And you're sending them a snapshot of everything in their neighborhood. Tell me that's not cool. Right? This is all from command, something that you don't have to pay extra for. So now that we have them on a neighborhood, let's go back here to our to our smart plan here. And let's go back in here to add them back to that smart plan again. My monthly neighborhood, and this is what's gonna get sent to them, their monthly neighborhood snapshot, right? And I said, we're gonna do this on the 30th, and I'm gonna confirm, and then I'm gonna confirm. Boom, there you go. So there we have 12, 13, 14, 15, we have 16 touches, right? We're supposed to have 19, right? On this 19 touch. Am I boring you guys or losing you guys or? I mean, I want you guys to know what you're doing and how you're doing it. How long is this class supposed to go? Oh my.
You're okay.
Oh my, it's on here it says it's a 4-hour class. I'm like, okay. Oh my goodness, I'm so sorry, guys. I'm sitting here looking at this and this says it's a 4-hour class, so okay. No, I won't keep you in here for 4 hours. I'll hold on. So anyway, you get the drift. So you go through, you add the smart plan, you look at the one that they said over here that we needed. We needed 2 touches, which is a promotional, and 1 annual, right? So you just add those things to the people so that you know what's going on. If you're going to do an annual Christmas party or Halloween party or a cookie giveaway, one time I did a Christmas cookie giveaway, or not Christmas cookie, Girl Scout cookie. So yeah, so there's your plan. So you got your leads on a 19, your contacts on a 36 to convert. You can do the same thing, go and put them on the plans that match it, okay? The 26, there's a bi-weekly, so all that stuff is in there, okay? 2 ways to tend your database over time. Build a culture around testimonials and reviews. When's the best time to ask for a review from somebody?
Right after the transaction.
Yeah, right. Well, right after, or actually I ask for it right at the closing table. I send them a link right at the closing table to do a review, because that's when they're really excited, or right before we sit down for the close or whatever, because they're really excited then. Okay. How, and that's how, I mean, how do you ensure that you get reviews? Have you ever asked for a review and somebody says, yeah, I'll give you one, and then they never do it? Anybody? Yeah, I have. That's why I'm doing them at the closing table now, because those get done right there. Okay. Well, I have a place called Rate My Agent, and I do that. And I'll just ask them for a review, send them over a link, and do Rate My Agent. And that's something I just started doing, by the way, because I'm not getting reviews, and now I'm going back to everybody and having them do those. So regularly update and prune your database. That means get people out of it, put people in it, prune it, cut them down, do whatever. Recap and ahas. Anything on these? Anybody have any ahas on database? On why using it, how to develop, anything like that? The smart plans?
Only that I need to put a lot more work into mine.
I always feel that way, okay? So the ahas to achievement. So in your participant guide, turn to this page at your ahas to achievement. So the goal of our time together is to help you think, feel, act, and use what you've learned to ignite your passion and help you achieve your big why. Okay, so I don't know what all of your big whys are, but I'm gonna guess that you've already been instructed to discover your big why. Write down your ahas for each of the categories. How has your thinking changed? What do you feel differently about? How will your behaviors be different going forward? What actions will you take? And what tools, model, or systems will you definitely use, and how will they make you accountable? Okay. So if you guys could take time and do that. Let's see what they have. Oh, this thing is getting on my nerves because it doesn't want. There. Okay. So daily success habits. Spark goals to set your career on fire. Here you go. Here's your goal. So daily, add 10 contacts. Have 10 conversations a day. Write 10 handwritten notes and preview 10 homes per week. If you guys do this, that's going to set your career on fire because you're going to start to see results on it. Okay? The overall goal of you guys going through Ignite is to be able to get your first appointment. These are the activities that you need to do that's going to help you to reach that goal of getting your first appointment. You can use the reports in Command to track your database health. If you go back here to Command, right at the beginning there, if you click on the home page, you go down to the bottom, it says database health score compared to other agents. Yours is in the top bar, theirs is on the bottom bar. So 77.7%, I'm looking at 77.77 beside compared to 50.8% on Health of Database. My database is healthier overall. Now, the area that I'm short on is neighborhoods. Part of that reason is because I work in a very rural community and they don't have a lot of neighborhoods out there listed. So that kind of hampers me on that one. So that's what they want you to do. Now, scripts, we're not doing scripts. Are we in here? No, we're not doing scripts. So that was what a lot of that was. So that's basically, that's it on your stuff. You can get help on Command and Connect to get help. You can, on Command here, if you need help with anything, you can hit the question mark in Command. And I need this moved out of the way. There we go. So let's see where they have the question mark hidden now. Oh, up here. There you go. That question mark, help and information. Just write down whatever you want. You guys are always welcome to call me. My phone number is in the directory. I'm sure other people have my phone number. Charlotte Johnson. First time teaching this class, so don't be too hard on me.
No, you've been a great wealth of information. Thank you so much.
Well, I just want to see every person be successful with KW and in real estate, because when I'm sitting across the table from somebody, I want it to be another agent that's educated and is doing the right things, right? So the more I can help each one of you guys, the happier I am, because I'm sure I'm going to run into you sometime in the future. Okay? All right. I wish you guys luck. Thank you so much. I'm really not Jennifer Jensen, so don't blame her for this, okay?
Great job.
Thank you all.
Thank you, Charlotte.
Charlotte.
All right. Thank you, guys.
Have a great day.
Bye. You guys too, okay? Stop the video. Do what? You were trying to stay awake?
Yesterday, not today.
Oh, why? What was yesterday?